Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the world of Windows Defender Antivirus and exploring its various settings. Whether you're a casual user or a tech enthusiast, understanding these parameters can help you optimize your system's security. Alright, let's get started. Let's go ahead and create an antivirus policy for the onboarded devices and discuss breakdown of the key settings. Let's head over to Microsoft Security Portal and log in. Once you're in, look for Endpoints and then Configuration Management. You will get option to create endpoint security policies. In endpoint security policies, you can create policies for Windows, Mac OS, and even Linux devices. But for this video, we're focusing on Windows. So, go ahead and select Windows Policies and then hit Create New Policy. Choose Windows as your platform and Microsoft Defender for Antivirus as your template. Click Create Policy to move on. Give your policy a name and a quick description so you remember what it's all about. In the next few steps, we'll customize this policy to fit your specific needs. Now, let's talk about some key settings. First, we have Allow Archive Scanning. Let's set this to Allowed. Why? Well, scanning compressed files like .zip or .rar can take a bit of time. But here's the catch. Sometimes bad guys like to hide malicious files within these archives. It's a trade-off between speed and security. Next, we have Allow Behavior Monitoring, and let's set this one's to Allowed. This is super important. It's like having a detective on your system, watching for any suspicious activity. Is a program trying to access your personal data without your permission? Behavior monitoring will be on the case. Moving on, we have Allow Cloud Protection. Also set this to Allowed. This basically means Defender is teaming up with the cloud to get the latest intel on threats. It's like having a network of spies constantly feeding information to your computer, keeping it one step ahead of the bad guys. Next we have is Allow Email Scanning. You guessed it, it's set to Allowed. We definitely want Defender to check our incoming and outgoing emails for any nasty attachments. Next, we have Allow Full Scan on Mapped Network Drives, Removable Drives. Both are set to Allowed. This is important because it means Defender doesn't just protect your computer itself. It also scans any external drives you plug in, like USB sticks or external hard drives. And it even scans network drives that you access over your network. Full protection, inside and out. Next we have Allow Real-Time Monitoring. Let's set this to Allowed. And it's what keeps Defender constantly on guard, scanning your system for threats in the background. Next we have is Allow Scanning of all downloaded files and attachments. Once enabled, the antivirus software actively monitors downloads and attachments in real time. As soon as a file or attachment is downloaded or received, it's immediately scanned before being opened or saved to your device. Next we have is Allow Scanning Network Files. If you are sharing files with others over network, you can also set this to Allowed. Defender will make sure those files are safe too. It's like having a security guard at the door of your network, checking everyone's ID. Next is Allow Script Scanning. Sometimes bad guys hide malicious code within scripts, which can be embedded in websites or documents. If the script execution is allowed in your organization, you can set this to Allowed. Next, we have Scan Parameter. You can set the scan parameter either to Quick Scan or Full Scan. Quick Scan focuses on critical areas of the system where malware is most likely to reside, such as registry keys, known Windows startup folders, and mounted removable devices, for example USB drives. This scan is optimized for efficiency and typically takes only a few minutes to complete. On the other hand, the full scan provides a comprehensive examination of the entire system. A full scan begins with a quick scan and then proceeds to scan all files sequentially. Due to its resource-intensive nature, scheduling full scans regularly is generally not advised. Instead, they should be performed occasionally or when there is a specific concern about malware presence. Next we have Schedule Quick Scan Time and Schedule Scan Time. Default value is 120, that is 2 a.m. Next we have Scheduled Scan Day. You can choose any day of the week that works for you. It's totally up to you. Now, Signature Update Interval is an important one. Its default value is 8 hours, meaning Defender will check for the latest virus definitions every 8 hours. A value of 0 means no check for new signatures. Before assigning this policy to the devices, let's go ahead and check the current status of these parameters on the device. Let's go to PowerShell and extract out current status of these parameters using getMP preference command. In case you want to test it out, you can get the full command I used in the description of this video. Alright, we've finished customizing our Windows antivirus policy. Now, let's get this applied to our devices. Click Next to move on. Select the security group that includes all the devices you want to protect. Once you've selected the correct group, click Next again. Now, let's do a quick review. Make sure everything looks good and that we haven't missed anything. If everything checks out, go ahead and click Save. That's it. We've successfully configured and applied our Windows antivirus policy. You need to wait for some time to get policy applied. Let's validate if configured policies are applied to the device successfully. Select the policy we created. You can click on Policy Settings Values to check the configured parameters. You can also check the status of all the parameters if they are successfully pushed on the device using Policy Settings Status. Click on the applied devices to validate if the device is in the list. Alright, that wraps up our deep dive into creating an antivirus policy with Microsoft Defender for Endpoint. Let's recap what we covered today. We jumped into the Microsoft 365 Defender portal and found our way to the Endpoint Security Policies section. We created a new policy specifically for Windows devices using the Microsoft Defender Antivirus template. We went through a bunch of important settings, making sure to enable things like archive scanning, behavior monitoring, cloud protection, and email scanning. We also made sure Defender scans all those external drives and network files, and keeps an eye on those sneaky scripts. We talked about the different scan types, quick scan and full scan, and how to schedule them for automatic awesomeness. And finally, we used PowerShell to check our existing settings and then deployed our shiny new policy. Remember, this is just a starting point. You can tweak these settings to match your specific needs and security level. The important thing is to be proactive and stay ahead of those nasty malware threats. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.